Hi everyone, welcome to Una Vida to Love. Hope you enjoyed this recipe for this cold weather. I will be making this beef soup Salvadorian style the way I was taught how to make it. It will be good for me, especially right now that I have a cold. If you can hear, it's because I have a cold. I'm using about 3 pounds of ribs. I went ahead and soaked them in water for about an hour to remove as much blood as I possibly can. That way in the boiling process, it will be easier to clean. I will go ahead and add them to water. I have about 16 cups of water in here. And once it boils, we'll go ahead and remove the foam. We don't want that. That's all the impurities of the blood coming afloat, and we want to take that out because I don't want it in my soup. I like a clean broth. And I also use a metal sifter so that I can remove the bigger pieces that fall in the bottom. When that's done, I will go ahead and add my onions, my garlic, green pepper. I didn't have any green peppers. I'm still trying to use my orange and yellow peppers. And I will also add about a tablespoon of oregano. I'm adding about an inch of ginger. I'm just putting the big piece in there because I will fish that out later on. And I'm going to add 1 cube of beef bouillon. And if you have it in powder form, just use about a tablespoon. You can get away with half of that, but because of the amount of water I'm using, I'll just go ahead and put 1. I realized that I forgot to put chop the tomatoes. So I do add tomatoes as well. And then I'll just add some pepper and salt. And I will let this boil until the meat is tender. It takes about an hour and a half or so to be done. While that's happening, I will make some tortillas. I'm not the best tortilla makers, but it works. My family loves it, especially with soups. It's a tradition we have, and I'm used to having tortillas with soup. You can also have it with rice. A lot of people do that. You can buy your tortillas. You can use a tortilla maker, but I try my best to make some. And then I will go ahead and put them in my tortilla warmer to keep warm until my soup is ready and we're ready to eat. These are the vegetables that I will be using. Some cabbage, chayote squash, some zucchinis, plantains. My daughter loves them. You can also use green plantains. I like to use ripe ones. And we have the carrots, and I also have some potatoes that my kids love. And at this point, you will need corn and yuca, cassava, known as cassava, but I don't have any, so I won't add that. Still continue to let it boil. The meat is not ready. Now the meat is tender, so we'll go ahead and fish all of the vegetables that we put in, the onions, the green pepper, the garlic, tomatoes, and the ginger. and we'll discard that. We don't need that anymore. They did the purpose. The flavor, it's in the soup now. And I want a clear broth. I don't want those little pieces in my broth. You're welcome to leave them if it doesn't bother you, if you're okay with it, but I'd rather just discard them. How do you know your meat is done? Is when it's almost, the meat is falling off the bone. We don't want it too tender because we want a little bit of body in it. Try to see, this is the way I test it. This is the way I was taught to test the meat. If you can pinch it nicely and it's, soft, then it's ready. If not, it will need more time. At this point, I will add the carrots and the plantains. If you had corn, you will also add the corn. You will actually add the corn before you add the carrots. So you will add the corn and the plantains only, and then come back about 5 minutes later and add the carrots. But since I don't have any, I will go ahead and just add the plantains and the carrots and bring it back to a boil until the carrots the carrots are tender. I will go ahead and add the rest of the vegetables. Sorry, I didn't press record. I added the cabbage, the chayote squash, the potatoes, and now I'm going to bring it to a boil and cook it for about 5 minutes before I add the last vegetable, which will be the zucchinis. I will go ahead and taste it at this point to see if I'm missing any salt or black pepper. The zucchinis are coming last, and then the cilantro. The cilantro is one of the ones that just gives the last kick to it. And that's what I feel makes the big difference. So cilantro is one of the things that you can't leave off. And if you don't like cilantro, I guess you can. I feel like it's more sweeter. I'm just not used to it. I always have cilantro. I don't like my zucchinis to be too soft, so that's why I add them last. Also at this point, go ahead and taste it if it needs any more salt or pepper. I did add more salt and pepper. Let it boil and then rest for 10 minutes before you serve. We're gonna serve this in a nice traditional bowl. Add some lime. I'm also gonna add some hot sauce that I went a little bit overboard. My husband took some of that. If not, it would have been too spicy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this recipe.